Did you know that right now someone's thinking about you, but it's not who you want? What if I told you the reason you're being overlooked has nothing to do with looks, money, or luck, but rather the frequency at which you're vibrating? Sounds absurd, right? That's precisely what changes everything. You attract what you are, not what you desire. Now answer me. How many times have you wondered why that person never notices you, even when you give your all? Today, I'm going to show you the forbidden method that has helped thousands attract exactly who they wanted, and caused others to lose those they loved because they didn't understand this. Prepare yourself. After hearing this, you'll never look at relationships the same way again. The first thing I learned, and it changed everything, is that you never attract what you desire, but rather what you believe yourself to be. It's harsh to hear, isn't it? Because we spend our whole lives believing that simply wanting something strongly is enough to get it. But stop and reflect with me. When you wake up, what's the first image that comes to mind about yourself? Do you see yourself as confident, capable, deserving of love and attention? Or do you see yourself as small, invisible, someone who needs to fight to prove their worth? It all starts there. Your self-image is the foundation of everything you experience. If you see yourself as someone who is ignored, guess what? The world will confirm that for you. Not because people are mean, but because you're vibrating at that frequency. It's like you're tuned into the wrong radio station, expecting to hear the music you love, but refusing to turn the dial. Now, I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. How many times have you thought, nobody notices me, I'm not enough, no one will choose me? These phrases, spoken or thought, are like commands to your mind. You're giving orders to continue being ignored, and I know what that's like because I've lived it. When I was young, I didn't believe in myself. I lacked confidence, I didn't feel worthy. The result? I attracted people who reinforced that vision, shallow relationships, experiences that made me feel even smaller. But there's a way out, and it starts now. The first thing I did, and what I want you to do, is something simple yet extremely powerful. Grab a piece of paper right now. Write down 10 qualities you'd like the person of your dreams to have. They could be free, happy, kind, full of life, healthy, financially independent, humorous, with a love for personal growth. Write it all down. Now pay attention. Next, write down 10 qualities you want to see in yourself. Why? Because you'll never attract a confident person if you live devaluing yourself. You won't attract someone cheerful if you're immersed in complaints. If this sounds obvious, why doesn't everyone do it? Because it's easier to point outwards than to look inwards. But I want you to commit to me now. For the next 24 hours, speak only positive things about yourself. No criticism, no self-sabotage. Only affirmations that raise your frequency. Want an example? Instead of thinking, I can't, change it to, I'm learning to improve every day. Instead of, nobody notices me, say, I'm interesting and people love being around me. It may seem strange at first, but this is exactly what will change your vibration. And I'll tell you something, this isn't empty talk. Science has already proven it. Positive psychology research shows that people with high self-esteem are up to 30% more likely to create healthy, lasting connections. Why? Because they convey security, and security is magnetic. Think about the people you admire. Do they constantly criticize themselves aloud? No. They exude confidence, not arrogance, but confidence. So I'm going to challenge you. For 7 days, every morning write, I am worthy of love, I am interesting, I am enough. Read it aloud, feel each word as if it were the absolute truth. Because deep down, it is. You just need to allow it to enter your mind. Now, I want you to visualize something with me. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself walking, head held high, smiling. Imagine the people around you looking at you with admiration, wanting to be close. This isn't magic, it's applied mind science. When you change how you see yourself, the world begins to change how it sees you. And this, I promise, will be the first step to never being ignored again. Do you know what the most common mistake is for those who want to attract a specific someone? It's placing a face, an exact person in their imagination and believing that by thinking about them day and night, they'll show up at their door. That's not attraction. That's mental manipulation, and besides not working, it puts you in an energy of lack, of scarcity. I know you've probably done this. Looked at that person's photo for hours, imagined every detail, wished they'd come running to you. But even after all that effort, they seemed to pull away even further, didn't they? And you kept wondering, why does this happen to me? The answer is simple, yet powerful. The law of attraction doesn't work for those who try to control another person. It works for those who decide to be in harmony with the qualities they wish to experience. And that's exactly where the secret no one told you lies. You don't have to attract that person. You have to attract someone who represents what you truly want to experience. Understand this, when you put a specific face on it, you're imposing a result. This traps you in a negative vibration because every time that person doesn't reciprocate, you feel frustration. And frustration is a sign that you're not on the right frequency. Now let me give you an example of what really works. Take a piece of paper, a simple piece of paper. In the middle, draw a circle and write, "My ideal partner." Around this circle, draw lines like rays of sun. On each line, write a quality you want that person to have. I want you to be specific. Write free, because if the person isn't free, you won't be either. Write happy, because no one wants to live next to someone sad and burdened with problems. Write kind, healthy, financially independent, humorous, with a love for personal growth. The more details, the better. But pay attention. You should never write a name or draw a face. Do you know why? Because when you do that, you're trying to force reality, instead of letting life bring someone perfectly aligned with what you desire. When you create this list of qualities and begin to visualize this incredible human being, you're doing something far more powerful than stalking someone on your phone or begging for attention. You're entering the frequency of the type of love you want to experience. And that frequency is magnetic. Now here's a detail that will change everything. When you're thinking about these qualities, imagine what it would be like to live alongside this person. Don't tell anyone, keep it to yourself. Mentally walk with them. Imagine a dinner, a conversation, a walk. Feel the emotions as if it were real, because to your mind, it is real. And when you do this consistently, your vibration changes completely. You begin to transmit something that attracts exactly this type of person. Not the one you tried to control, but someone who is truly in harmony with you. And I know you may be thinking now, but what if I really want that specific person? I'll be direct. You don't have that right. You don't have the right to interfere with another person's free will. When you understand how difficult it is to change yourself, you won't even want to try to change someone else. Therefore, focus on yourself. Focus on becoming someone who deserves to experience everything you desire. This exercise may seem silly to some, but that's how the mind works. That's how energy responds. When you take the focus off obsession and put it on creation, life begins to conspire in your favor. And when it happens, because it will happen if you do this with discipline, you'll look back and understand that the mistake wasn't you not being good enough. The mistake was insisting on something that wasn't for you, when life was ready to give you something much better. Now, tell me, are you willing to let go of control and allow the universe to work? Because if you are, start this exercise today, and soon you'll realize you won't need to chase anyone anymore, because whoever needs to appear will appear. And it will be exactly what you dreamed of, or something even better. When you think, I need this person to be happy. Do you know what you're communicating to the universe? You're screaming scarcity. You're sending the message that something is missing, that you're not complete. And the energy that says, I don't have, can never attract what you want. The truth is simple and at the same time painful for those who haven't yet understood. Neediness repels. Always. Now, reflect with me. How many times have you entered a relationship afraid of losing the person? How many times have you checked messages all the time, felt anxious because they didn't respond quickly, or compared yourself to other people thinking you wouldn't be enough? And in the end, what happened? The relationship became heavy, suffocating, and ended. This didn't happen by chance. When you live in fear, you vibrate at exactly that frequency and end up attracting the experience that confirms that fear. I experienced this firsthand. There was a period in my life when I was obsessed with someone. I did everything: gifts, calls, messages in the middle of the night, trying to please in every detail. But the more I tried to hold on, the more that person slipped away. One day, it hit me. I was emotionally dependent, pushing not only her away but myself too. That's when I decided to change. Instead of asking, what can I do to make her like me? I started asking, what can I do to like myself more? That shift changed everything, and this isn't just personal experience. Science backs it up. Social behavior research shows that about 80% of people pick up on emotional insecurity and subconsciously distance themselves. It's almost instinctive. Nobody wants to be with someone who projects desperation, fear, neediness. Want to know what people crave? Presence, calmness, someone who feels whole on their own. That's magnetic. So how do you shift that frequency? The first step is to stop mentally living in the if I don't have this person, I'm nothing space. Instead, you need to enter the I am amazing and deserve to be with someone equally amazing state. Seems simple? It is, but it's not easy because you're hardwired to seek external validation. I want you to do this right now. Repeat to yourself mentally or aloud if you can, I am so interesting that anyone would love to be by my side. Feel it. Visualize yourself walking into a room and drawing eyes. Not because you're begging for attention, but because your energy is clean, confident, authentic. That's how it works. You don't attract through physical effort. You attract through the vibrational field you create around you. And if right now you're thinking, but I really need this person, I can't live without them, I want you to understand something crucial. That's not love. That's dependence. And dependence is a sign you're vibrating in fear, and fear only attracts more fear. What you need is presence, balance. The more complete you become, the more you attract relationships that are equally complete. Here's a simple yet powerful exercise. Next time you think of someone specific, don't mentally repeat, I need you. Replace it with, I'm grateful for the love already in my life and for the incredible love that's coming. This changes everything because gratitude is one of the highest frequencies there is. When you're grateful, you don't vibrate lack, you vibrate abundance. Do this for 7 days straight, just 7. Every time you feel needy, transform it into gratitude. By the end of that period, you'll notice your energy shift. And when your energy shifts, people notice. They may not understand it rationally, but they'll feel it. Then something interesting happens. Someone who previously seemed distant might start to get closer, or someone even better might appear. So answer me now. Are you willing to stop vibrating neediness to become so complete that no one can ignore you? Because if you are, this is the exact moment to begin. Want to know the formula the most successful people use to attract everything they desire, including extraordinary relationships? They act as if what they want is already a reality. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't get stuck in doubt. They internally assume they already have it, even before they have any evidence. And this isn't just a feel-good idea, it's a universal law. Let me give you a powerful example. Oprah Winfrey. Before she became one of the most influential women in the world, she'd say, "I attract abundance, love, and respect," even when she had nothing to prove it. And why did it work? Because the mind doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's imagined when you put emotion into the thought. When you feel as if you already have it, you align with the frequency of that reality. Now let's apply this to your life. Close your eyes and imagine you're already with the right person. Not a specific person, but someone with the qualities you wrote down in the previous exercise. Imagine a dinner, light conversation, laughter, affection. Feel the touch, hear the voice, notice the emotions this scene evokes. That's what creates the vibration. It's not about dreaming for dreaming's sake. It's about feeling as if you're already living it now. But here's the detail almost nobody notices. It's not enough to visualize occasionally, as if playing a game of make-believe. It requires consistency. Every day, before you sleep, repeat this ritual. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and visualize affirmations like, "I am free, I am happy, I am loved." Don't just say them. Feel them as if they're the absolute truth, because to your subconscious they are. And when the subconscious accepts something as truth, it begins to shape your reality to match it. This isn't just spirituality, it's mind science. Research on neuroplasticity shows that when you repeat images and thoughts accompanied by emotion, you create new neural connections that program your brain to act as if it already exists. And do you know what happens when you act that way? Your body language changes, your tone of voice changes, your choices change, and when that changes, the people around you notice. It's almost as if you become irresistible to those on the same frequency. I want you to do something right now. Grab a notebook and write 3 sentences defining the person you want to attract. Then write 3 sentences defining who you need to be to deserve someone like that. Remember, you don't attract what you want. You attract what's inevitable for your vibration. So, if you want someone confident, loving, vibrant, you need to be that first. And I know you might be thinking, but I've tried visualization and it didn't work. If it didn't work, it's because you did it superficially, without emotion, without truly believing. Emotion is the bridge between the mind and reality. Without it, it's just loose imagination. But with it, you put the law of attraction to work for you. Now think about this. What if, starting today, you decided to live as if you'd already met the ideal person? How would you dress? How would you speak? How would you behave in public? Do it. Step into that role right now, because when you start living as if you already have it, there's no room for doubt. And when doubt disappears, the reality you want draws closer. This is the method extraordinary people use, and you can use it too. And the only question that matters now is, are you willing to feel, believe, and live as if you already have what you desire? Because if you are, everything around you will begin to change. I'll never forget the day I was working for the Toronto Fire Department. I was earning little, always tired, and frankly felt trapped. Nothing seemed to make sense. My self-image was terrible. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't see possibilities. And to make matters worse, I compared myself to everyone who seemed to have a better life than mine. I thought, why doesn't anything work out for me? It was during this period that someone introduced me to a book, Think and Grow Rich. I didn't know it at the time, but that reading would change everything. I remember opening those pages and finding something that seemed impossible to believe, that what I thought about myself determined everything in my life. And it wasn't just money. It was everything. Relationships, health, happiness. I was shocked. Because until that day, I lived believing that my life was a result of circumstances, of luck, or the lack thereof. But for the first time, I saw that maybe the problem wasn't in the world, but within me. I started applying those principles. And want to know the truth? It wasn't easy. I had no foundation, no experience, but I had a decision to change. In less than a year, I started a cleaning company with no capital, no degree, nothing but my new mindset. And that company grossed more than $100,000 in its first year. For someone who had no perspective, this was unimaginable. Now, you might be wondering, what does this have to do with being ignored, with attracting someone into my life? Everything. Because the same principle I applied to change my financial situation was the same one that transformed my relationships. Before, I wanted someone to complete me, to give me value because I couldn't value myself. And when you don't believe in yourself, you transmit that in every gesture, every word, every look. People feel it. When I changed internally, when I decided I was enough, that I was valuable, something extraordinary happened. I stopped begging for attention. I no longer needed someone to tell me I was special, and ironically, that's when people started to notice me. I became magnetic. Because the truth is simple, you don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. And I had become someone completely different, someone who believed in himself. And this isn't just theory. You can test this right now. Look at your life. Everything you have today is a reflection of the image you carry of yourself. If you believe you're invisible, you'll live being ignored. If you believe you're interesting, that you're valuable, people will feel that and will want to be around you. Not because you forced them, but because you started vibrating that truth. I can guarantee you, if someone like me, without education, without resources, without confidence, managed to completely change their own story, you can too. But you need to make the same choice. Change yourself first, because when you change, everything changes. There are no exceptions, and when that happens, you'll understand what I understood at that moment. You never needed to chase anyone. Everything you've always wanted starts chasing you. You don't attract the love you deserve. That phrase may seem harsh, but it's the purest truth. You attract the love you believe you deserve. And that changes everything. Because deep down, even if you won't admit it, if you believe you're not good enough, not interesting enough, that you need to beg for attention, guess what? Your life will confirm it. Every single time. Now, I want you to be honest with yourself. When you think about a relationship, what comes first? I deserve someone incredible, someone who respects and loves me. Or does that quiet, almost hidden thought creep in? Will someone like that ever want me? That doubt is the biggest saboteur of your love life. It puts you on a frequency of lack. And when you vibrate lack, all you attract is more lack. I've seen this happen hundreds of times in seminars, mentoring sessions, conversations with people all over the world. And you know what they all had in common? They judged themselves too harshly. They constantly compared themselves to others. They carried beliefs like, all the good ones are taken, perfect relationships don't exist, I'm not special. And I ask you, how can someone who thinks like that attract extraordinary love? It's impossible. The truth is, you can never receive something greater than your self-image. If your self-image is small, your relationships will be small. But if you elevate that image, everything changes. I want you to feel this now. Close your eyes for a moment and ask yourself sincerely, what do I believe I deserve? If the answer is anything, just to not be alone, then that's what you'll get. Anything. If it's, I deserve magnificent love, you're on the right track. Now I want you to do something very simple, yet extremely powerful. For the next 7 days, every morning, write, I deserve to be loved by someone free, happy, kind, and full of life. Don't just write it. Read it aloud and feel as if it's already real. Imagine this person coming to you, bringing exactly that energy. Imagine you both experiencing incredible moments together. Allow yourself to feel what it would be like. This isn't just an exercise in imagination. It's training your mind to accept a new truth. Because here's the thing, you only attract what you believe is possible for you. If you believe healthy relationships are rare, that nobody is good enough, life will prove it to you. But if you believe extraordinary people are ready to love you, you'll start seeing those people everywhere. It's not magic, it's perception. Your mind filters reality based on the beliefs you hold. And before you think, but that's hard, let me tell you something. What's harder? Continuing to live in relationships that make you doubt yourself, or training your mind to believe you deserve the best. You have a choice. You always have. And that choice begins now. So answer me, are you ready to stop settling for crumbs? Are you ready to truly say you deserve overflowing love? Because the moment you decide that, the moment the truth enters your heart, the game changes. It's not about luck. It's about frequency, and you're about to change yours. If there's one thing you should take away from this, it's this. It all starts within you. It's not about chasing. It's not about begging for attention. It's about becoming someone who truly believes in their own worth. Because when that happens, you no longer need to prove anything to anyone. Your whole life will confirm what you believe to be true. Now, continue with me. Click on the next video that's appearing on the screen, because there you'll climb another step in your evolution. You'll understand something that can make you 1% better than you are now. Thank you for being here with me, and I'll see you in the next video.